All right, hello everybody, welcome. So I've just returned from Germany from the .NET Developer Conference, and because today is the first day of Advent of Code, I thought I would do the first live coding session. I hope I will do all of those days as live codings, but we will see how time permits. But yeah, I'm here today, so let's do it. And if you don't know Advent of Code, it's kind of a Advent-based challenge with coding of various challenges, kind of not really development, software development as a UI based or something like that. It's more of a informatics challenges or mathematically oriented problems. So it's gonna be interesting. We'll see how those things will go. I participated last year also, where I did the last year's version of this, Advent of Code 2021, and you can even find those solutions of those challenges on my GitHub. So it's there as a public repo. But for this year's edition, I created a new repository. So I have this one, which is currently very empty. And let's start and let's see how it goes. So I will go here to the folder where I cloned it. Okay, so here. And I will create a solution for this. So .NET new SLN, this could be Advent. So we have an empty solution here, and I will actually reuse some of the base code that I had from last year. So just to simplify things and speed it up, so I will copy this tools folder, which are various useful classes and tools that speed up the development for most of those challenges, because most of them are based on some file input and you basically need to read that input, transform it somehow, or do something with it. So basically it's probably gonna be very similar this year. So I will just reuse that and also put in the first day folder, so we can just adjust it and change it to fit our needs for this year. So I will add the existing projects. So it should be tools. And because it's 2022, we will update to .NET 7, of course. Because why would we stay on the old version? And I will add the day 01 project. So each day there are 2 challenges you need to solve. So this one is the first part of the day, and there is the second one which appears when you once you solve that first puzzle. So I'll just delete all this and I'll make sure this is also .NET 7, because why not? And the input file will be different, so I just delete that. Output file can stay, so we'll just override that one. Alright, so we have everything we needed. So let's see what is the actual puzzle for this day. So there are some basic descriptions, but I will skip to the challenge. So basically in the input file we'll have some numbers. And these describe calories some elves eat. And so there are multiple different groups, and each group represents one elf. And each group is a separate elf, and the goal is we would like to know how many calories are being carried by the elf who has most calories. So in this case we just sum those numbers and we'll pick the one which is the biggest. So it seems pretty simple. I will take the input. Let's try to implement it. So we will let's do it simply. So I will create a list of long values. I'm not sure how big are the numbers, but maybe long is, oh, it's a small input file. Well, long is not gonna hurt anything, so I will use this. So sums. Well, actually, we don't need to even store those values. We can just have best one, the best one, store it and override it when we find a better one. So yeah, I'm using this keyboard which I'm not familiar with. It's the layout is sometimes a little bit tricky. So probably need some reference. So this is one. Okay. I need the latest version. Okay, good. This will be useful. So we will be reading the lines from the file And once we hit a empty line, we will calculate what we got and see if we have a better solution than the previous one. So we will do, actually, let's do it like this. While string line equals, so we will read from the console input until, well, while it's possible. So, well, let's make it async, why not? We'll read from the input until we hit the end of the file, which will mean that we're done with the file. So just like that. And now we'll have also a long current, which represents the currently built up group's value. So, well, not this, but let's do it like this. So if we get a line which is not empty, so if the line is empty, not like that. We will check if you have a better result than before. So if, oh, actually, let's do it like this. Best equals exactly what Copilot suggests. So T, and else, if the line is not empty, we will, oh, let's do it like this. It's null or white space. That's safer. And if it's not empty, then we will parse that line into a number. And we will add it to the current value. So like that. Of course, we need to make sure that we reset the current to 0 once we're done there. So that's good. And one thing is important: when we reach the end of the file, we might have the last group might be actually better than the current best. So we'll have to do this again at the end to account for the last group. And when we're done, we're just gonna say console write line best. So this will output the best result. And we're hopefully done. So let's just do it like this. We'll run the application. So what we're gonna do is txt. So we'll use the input file as input file and pipe the output to output txt. So this should be enough for us to run this. I will put a breakpoint just to see if it works. Oh, the specified file is invalid. Why? Do we need the content file? No, copy always, but copy newer. But it's probably not gonna help, right? We'll need to explicitly use the, oh, it's working. So it needed to be a content file. So now we have the first number, and now, well, I will let it run because it should work. So of course the output file was created in the bin folder, or like in the debug folder. So let's see. The output should be 2017. So let's try that. All right, so that's the solution for the first part, and let's continue to part 2. Oh, hello everybody. Hello. Second part. Okay. So now instead of calculating the single best or single largest group, we need top 3 largest groups. So yeah, let's see. So we will work with the same input file. So I will just create a new project for this part of the puzzle. So console app. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's create it. And basically we can reuse most of this quite easily. So I will copy the program CS and input file because that's gonna be the same. And now we just need to update our code to account for the new requirements. So now instead of picking the best solution, we will actually store those numbers inside of a list. So calories, and move it up, and we will just add it continuously to the list. Okay, so this, let's call this one current. Oh, not really. So now let's call it elves. That's the naming that I like. So elves, and when we find the empty line, we'll add the current results to the elves list. And finally do the same thing after the last group, so we don't miss the last group. And now we'll use some link. So result will be elves order by descending, and we'll take, oh right, we need to have this. Oh, typing on this keyboard is a bit harder to get used to, so I'm still learning. So we take 3 of those, the top 3, and we sum them up. And that should be enough to solve this. It's not probably the most efficient in terms of memory, because we have to store all those groups sizes. So a better solution would be to have an array of 3 elements, and then always keep only the best 3 by checking if we get the better one. Well, actually, would it work? Yes, as long as we find a better one, then would it work? How would it work? So we need to find the best 3. So we would replace the smallest of the group with a newer, bigger value. So when we find something that's bigger than the smallest of the three that we have currently, we replace the smallest and continue like this. And this way we will, and at the end, have the three biggest values overall. So let's just do the same thing as before. So input txt and output txt, and let's run it. Seems it finished successfully. Let's see what your output file says. Okay. That's a significantly bigger number, so it might be correct. And it's correct. Okay, so that is it for the first day of the advent of code. So now we have to do stars, and next day the second two puzzles unlock, so in 18 hours. So that's probably it from me for today, and I will try to do the second puzzles tomorrow again, even though I will be a bit jet lagged after because I'm traveling to Montreal, Canada tomorrow to visit the Uno platform team and finally meet them in person after 3 years. So yeah, we'll see how what's my state of mind and my state of sleepiness after I arrive. But I hope that I will at least do the puzzle maybe a day later or something like that, so that we don't miss a day. But so far so good. Thank you for the bon voyage. I'm pretty excited about it, and I have to get the traditional Canadian poutine food, which is it's a very unhealthy food, but you know, when you're in Canada you have to get it. So yeah, and I will say hi to Jerome and everyone in the team actually. So I'm pretty excited, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So alright, thank you for joining, and see you tomorrow or the next day, depending on how things go. So have a great day, and bye bye.